Lightning minus 195 favorites to win the opener at home, but Montreal beat both the Leafs and Jets on the road in Game 1 earlier in the playoffs. So what chance are you giving the Habs to do it again tonight, Geoff?
Oh, I'm giving them a good chance to do it tonight. I mean, I think this is a really interesting spot in Game 1. I mean, again, we just continually underrate the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, this is a team who every series, and we say, oh, this is it. You know, they're the big underdogs. There's no chance. I did it at the start of the Vegas series. I think I called Vegas in 5 or something like that. It's a team that's 2-1 in Game 1s in the playoffs. They've got a better netminder and Carey Price. They've had the extra rest. This isn't a team that's going to be rusty, but they've had the extra rest. Look, Tampa Bay, they've scored 2 goals or less in 4 of their last 5 games. And now they have to face Carey Price. This is by far a wide open game, in my opinion. And I think that you're getting great value here on taking the Canadiens, you know, at around plus 160 here on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Plus 175, excuse me, it's now up to. Again, these odds are moving all the time, but I really like the value getting on the Montreal money line tonight. I like the fact that they're, you know, coming in under the radar again. And I like the fact that they're kind of catching Tampa with a limited amount of rest here. Tampa obviously a little bit banged up with Nikita Kucherov. I think the Canadiens can jump out to a 1-0 lead here. And I think this series is going to go at least 6 games.
AJ, can the Habs do it again tonight?
Yeah, I love the value. I love everything Geoff just said. But at the end of the day, the guy that's probably going to take home the Vezina Trophy is the guy on the other end of the ice. And that's why the Lightning haven't had to score goals. They've got Andre Vasilevsky, who's just been unbeatable. I mean, 4 shutouts in the postseason. That's crazy to even think about. So I don't expect the Habs to go down easily here. I agree with Geoff. I think 6 games is a pretty good target here. But I think Tampa comes out and takes this one right away to get off to a good start. You guys know I love the value. I love taking plus 175, taking a risk on that. But for me, I just think the Bullets are too big of an opponent here. I'm going to look the puck line on this one. Take them giving up the goal and a half. You get value on that still at plus 133 on the DK Sportsbook tonight.
Favorite Canadiens player prop, AJ? Hook me up.
Well, of course, I got to go on Wisconsin with our own Cole Caulfield here tonight, snagging a goal at plus 245. But honestly, with the way the odds look for the entire Habs forward, it reminds me of what we saw all playoffs with the Isles. There's just such good prices here across the board. You could easily look at Tyler Toffoli at plus 233, Nick Suzuki at plus 270. That full second line are the guys that are leading the way in scoring for the Habs, and you're getting great value. In other places to look at Cole Caulfield tonight, I like getting even money at plus 105 to get over 2.5 shots, plus 100 to score a point of any kind here, or even a little bit more risk for 2 points at plus 425.
All right, Jeffrey, favorite Canadiens player prop tonight?
So, I mean, look, AJ and I are going to be like in par with these player props because I agree 100%. It was the first thing that came to mind. These Montreal forwards are just getting discounted again. And it's just a similar story to what we saw in the Islanders series, right? So Cole Caulfield was definitely on my list. I love him to score a goal. I think he can take his shots on goal prop as well. Another player I'll throw out, Josh Anderson. You know, you're getting kind of similar odds on him or slightly bigger odds at plus 400 actually to score a goal. But this is what this guy does. I mean, he scores goals, 20 in 69 games. I think a plus 400, that's completely reasonable. Could get a few more minutes with Joel Armia banged up as well. So Caulfield, definitely the guy who's driving the offense right now for Montreal. And quite frankly, if they win this game, you know, I definitely think he's going to be on the score sheet. So maybe taking like Caulfield and the Montreal Canadiens to win, if you just want to pile it all into one bucket tonight, is an interesting one. But all these Canadian forwards, the ones AJ listed off, all good value. If you want to go really deep, Eric Staal is a player I think is going to show up at some point in this series with a goal. He's got massive odds sitting around plus 510 right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook to score. I think you'll see that happen at some point in this series. And, you know, again, you're getting plus 510, so why not?
Jeff, what about on the Lightning side? Is there a player prop that catches your eye?
Yeah, Yanni Gourde. I mean, plus 125 here. I mean, just to score a point. I love it. I mean, this is a player who's getting a lot of ice time, over 16 minutes of ice right now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You could take him over the 1.5 shots on goal prop as well. He's averaging 2.6 shots on goal over his last 10 games. This player is getting a lot of run. And again, I mean, these props, even the shots on goal prop, yeah, you're taking big, you're eating some juice there. But I mean, this guy's been so consistent. Those are pretty good, slightly undervalued odds. Again, we're only talking about over 1.5 shots on goal. But I think just grabbing him to score a point at plus 125. He's got 3 goals over his last 6 games as well. He's coming in hot. This is a player I think you should keep your eye on for DFS as well.
AJ, talk to me.
Well, the only thing that points a goal streak coming to an end did was, lower or rather increase the value you can get here out of that. Not by much. He's still plus 117, so it's not a huge value. So that's certainly in play tonight. But I actually really like getting plus 180 on Nikita Kucherov to score a goal in this one. Look, yes, dealing with that upper body injury, there's no way he's playing 100%. He's been primarily an assist guy of late. He is stuck in that 8-game goal drought, but the value is too good to pass up, especially when you consider his minutes with the man advantage here. It's easily an opportunity for him to get on the power play, fire one off at the net from the slot and put it home.
Guys, let's talk about how long this series will last. Geoff, I'll start with you because I know you mentioned earlier in this segment you think it's going to go 6 games. Right now, 5 games is the favorite on the DK Sportsbook at minus 625. So why do you expect this thing to go longer here?
I mean, it's just you just got a classic defensive struggle here with 2 of the best, with the 2 best netminders in the playoffs so far. And when you have a netminder of the eliteness of Carey Price, I mean, he's just more than likely to steal you at least 1 game in this series. And again, Montreal, as we've seen, I mean, we can put these teams on paper. Yeah, they don't have the elite front line, but they didn't have the elite front line that Winnipeg did or Vegas did either. This just has not mattered to this team at all in the playoffs. And, with Carey Price back there, I think Montreal is going to come out and they're probably going to make this a much, much tighter series than people realize. So I'm very high in Montreal. If they end up, crashing and burning here, that's fine. They're a young team, but I just feel like we've discounted them so much. You look at the advanced stats in these two teams as well. Montreal was pretty close to Tampa Bay in a lot of categories during the regular season. They've been right up there in terms of things like, expected goal rate and things like that, and scoring chances allowed in the playoffs too. So they're getting more timely scoring. I think this goes over 5.5 games. It's plus 116 to take a shot there. Minus 143 to go over 5.5 games right now. So, but regardless, I like this series to go 6 or more right now. I think Montreal makes this a close series.
AJ, you like 5 games being the favorite?
I mean, it makes picking the spot difficult, that's for sure. But the guys at the DK Sportsbook know what they're talking about here. But I'm with Geoff on this one. I think 6 games is a good spot to be in. The minus 143 is an okay price to have to give up a little bit of juice on that. For me, taking the over 6.5 at plus 250 is just a little bit too steep. So yeah, I think 6 games. If you want to find some value here, Lightning winning the series 4-2 at plus 415 is kind of where I would go on this one. That would also allow you to take Tampa Bay minus 1.5 games in the series spread at minus 136. So I'm with Geoff. 6 games, a 4-2 Lightning win here.
AJ, there is a showdown contest for Game 1. So who was your favorite DFS play in tonight's Cup final opener?
I'm really struggling to convince myself not to pay up for Andrei Vasilevskiy. But that price tag to captain him is just so high to get him in there. So for me, I'm going to look at Alex Killorn, a little bit cheaper. He's actually got the 2nd most goals on the team behind Braden Point. He's 3rd in overall points. He's been definitely a little bit more streaky. 4 points in the last 3 games against the Islanders, but that came on the heels of a 3-game, pointless stretch. So it's a big hit or miss guy. There's certainly no guarantees there. The shot on goal total is okay in terms of giving you a bit of a floor there. But for me, just to get down a little bit, I think Alex Killorn. I'll be using Andrei Vasilevskiy, but I don't want to pay that captain price tonight.
Geoff, is there a price you want to pay? Let's go.
I mean, look, obviously I like the Montreal Canadiens money line tonight. And if you're thinking, big GPPs, I mean, if Montreal wins this series, like their ownership is just going to go through the roof. Maybe not through the roof, but it's going to get higher. People are going to stop discounting them. This is the spot to take Carey Price in your captain spot. Look, just from a pure DraftKings production rate, Carey Price is outproducing Andrei Vasilevskiy over the last 10 games. He's facing a few more shots on goal. He's actually been a little bit sharper, if we're being honest. He's averaging over 18 DK fantasy points, whereas Vasilevsky around 16. So if Montreal gets the win here, it's going to be a big game for Carey Price. Like he's, I don't want to say he's guaranteed to be the high scorer if Montreal wins, but it's very close to saying that, just especially with the way Montreal spreads their scoring. I think Carey Price and big GPPs is the play just for the leverage you're getting. And you pair him with Cole Caulfield, who again, as AJ already mentioned, probably going to have a great chance to be on the score sheet if Montreal wins.